Welcome to another edition of GD Unspoken. I've got a very special guest here today, Mr. Matt Parko Parkinson. How you going, champion?
Very well, mate. Very well.
Welcome. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Well, I was a bit nervous actually coming over here today because you're obviously a legend. I've got a lot of respect for you, but you're also very cheeky, and so I'm a bit nervous where this might go, this podcast. So we're just going to keep the questions as clean as we can. Yeah. I did suck up to you to have some chicken wings to come over here. What are your chicken wings out of 10 today?
Mate, outstanding as always here at the Woodford residence. Just delightful. Yeah,
it's good, mate. And who is Parko? If you just sum yourself up here, you got no questions here. Haven't given you any forethought of where we're going. But what sums you up?
I think I'm a father.
Yep.
To 2 kids. I'm a husband, a son, a brother, a teacher.
Yeah.
I'll probably say sport lover. Maybe humorous to some.
Mm-hmm.
Cheeky to others, perhaps.
Is that what your wife would say?
No, she would disagree with most of that.
And what's so give us a bit of a background and growing up. What was growing up for you? Like schools, was school okay for you? Did you have a good experience at school?
Yeah, I love school. I grew up, so mum and dad both teachers as well, principal and teacher. So I grew up around school, went to just one primary school, one high school. But yeah, found a lot of good connections there across both. Found a passion for sport and seemed to gravitate towards people through sport as well. But yeah, probably secondary school or high school here was really good for me. I had a good group of mates that still keep in touch with today, still have pretty strong bonds with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had quite a good time in the social aspect of school.
Yeah.
Like to learn, probably didn't apply myself as much as
we all do.
I would have liked to, looking back on it.
Yeah.
But no, I had a really good time through primary and high school.
Okay. And you talked quickly about interests and your connections, which is, we talk about this show all the time about how connections are so important. The human connections are so important. Tell us a bit about sports. So what sports were you mainly into growing up, and do you have a certain passion about a certain sport in particular?
Yeah, so cricket would be my number one. Just sort of stumbled upon it by chance, I guess. Remember about year 3 or 4, just saw there was something I think even in the local paper back then about come and try some indoor cricket.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, I'd love to go and do that. And yeah, pretty much just got straight in and went, this is great. I love this.
Yeah.
That year started outdoor cricket. Again, had a really, really good group of mates through that. Awesome coach. So we pretty much kept the same team throughout all my junior cricketing. Started playing a little bit at school, met other people, and then pretty much finished school and then went straight into playing some grade cricket at the mighty Caboolture Snakes.
Nice, yeah.
And pretty much did that for 10 years, playing first grade cricket there. And then, when I had my firstborn, Lenny, just sort of thought, going to want to spend Saturdays with him.
Yeah.
Stopped playing then. So cricket was definitely the number one. Played a bit of footy and stuff throughout school.
Yeah.
But then also jumped in, played soccer, touch footy,
everything.
playing a bit of volleyball.
Yeah,
I just love sport and love what it can do. And I guess that notion of mateship and who you meet, the laughs you have is probably number one as well.
Yeah, nice. Well said. And playing cricket, were you all-rounder, batter, bowler, keeper? What was your... I
like to say I was an all-rounder. When I first started playing, first year I got selected as an opening bowler. So went and got some frosted blonde tips like Brett Lee because I thought that was part and parcel of what you had to do.
Nice.
Next year came in and just said, yep, I'm an opening bowler. That's all I do, and got chosen as a batsman.
Oh, right.
And so sort of did a little bit between when I played senior cricket was more of a bowler. Then after a few years could evolve into contributing a little bit more with the bat.
And what drop were you? Whereabouts?
Towards the end, I was probably batted 6 or 7.
Okay.
On a good day.
Yeah.
For a little bit short.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I started playing cricket. Dad said it was a girls' game. Wouldn't come and support anything. I think I was 14 playing a 16 side, and then went and played again when I was a bit older, like about 3rd or 4th grade, and they gave me the ball to open bowl. They'd never seen me bowl before. I remember just going, okay, I'm going to dominate this. First ball bowled up, the guy has smashed it over me. The first ball over the side screen, they couldn't find the ball. I'm like, this game sucks. Well, I thought it was actually quite good, but no, absolutely belted. So it's interesting you talked about the sport. So is sport, I know it's Men's Health Month, but is sport something you go to when Parko has a bad day? Like if Parko was run down, feeling bad, or maybe struggles at, I know you're a young family, so I'm sure some days are tougher than others too there with young kids. Do you have like a go-to when you're having a bad day?
Sometimes it can be as simple as, if you watch some old highlights or things like that, and that's I can do that when I'm in a good mood or bad mood. Watching some sport just seems to break open some other avenues as well. You sort of get your mind off maybe what you're worried about. Probably more recently I've also incorporated maybe a little bit more exercise as well. So a few mates and myself sort of decided to do a triathlon a few years ago. And I actually really enjoyed that process of training with other people. And so now I've sort of incorporated a little bit. So I might go for a run every now and then or a swim. And I found that's a good time to switch off as well.
Yeah, nice.
I'll often, flick on a podcast like GW Unspoken.
Well, of course, we paid him well. Yeah, that's it.
And so having that element's been pretty cool as well. Like going from more team sports and team environment into that real individual headspace where, that notion of head noise is very real.
Yeah.
But I've actually really enjoyed some of those processes and getting to know, I guess, a little bit more of my mind and where I sit with myself. And I like to have a few deep thoughts sometimes, or other times I might just be singing Will Smith Getting Jiggy with it for 20 minutes.
Would you like to give us a bit of do you want to talk about singing some of that now?
No, I usually save that for after 8 o'clock on Saturday evenings. But.
What's the ultimate plan for you? Have you got an end goal? I know that you're experienced teacher and you have great work in the pastoral system when we used to work together, and now you've moved to another school, and obviously they've seen your leadership capability there and you've got a job there in leadership again. So, mate, it's awesome. Congratulations, benefit for the school, but also kids and your growing leadership. But do you have an ultimate plan of a passion or a purpose, or are you happy where you're at now? What's your overall goals?
Yeah, I guess initially, I think it's changed over time as well. I think when I first came into the teaching space, it was very much a mindset of, all right, I want to get up to being a principal or assistant principal or something like that. And I think over the last probably 5 or 6 years, my mind's kind of changed from that space as well. I've really started to get a bit more in depth with I guess how the brain works, what students get out of school and what they could get out of school. Mm-hmm. My shift has sort of, I guess, gone in that direction. I think, someone along the way said, how many teachers do you see that say to kids, what are you going to do when you're finished? Mm. And then they said, you should ask, what are you passionate about? Yeah. And I try and do that every day, I think, because that really simple quote, simple words, I started to go, it shouldn't be when you're 14, 15. Hey, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? When I look back, I have absolutely no idea. I wanted to still play cricket for Australia in the summer and then play for the Broncos in the winter.
Why not?
But why can't I do something in that space? So I think I'd love to be somewhere involved in that, in finding what kids' passions are, whether that's at a pastoral level like what I'm doing now. I really enjoy the conversations having with kids. And as we know, school, as it's run at the moment, it's not for everyone. And even for some kids, I'm only coming here for 1 or 2 subjects or one or 2 people, which is probably why I got drawn into teaching in the first place.
And I love how you're talking about it, because we talked about passion and purpose on our last podcast, and your purpose is basically your why. Your passion is what fires you up every single day, and obviously you've got that with the kids and that. And it takes a person to actually be able to respond and reflect and also get along with those kids, and you do a really good job there, mate, with that, which is awesome and lucky for those kids too. What actually makes you happy?
I guess on a daily level, probably the happiest I am every day is when I get to come home, open up the door. It's the most stereotypical thing of my 2 kids just screaming, Dad's home, but they run down the hall, give me the biggest hug, and I know I've absolutely buttered it up. Like I just go, lapping it up as much as I can. But I also, no matter what's happened that day in that moment, I'm there, which is awesome. So I'm always super happy at that point. That might then change, as people know, with toddlers in 3 minutes' time after that.
The witching hour,
That makes me really happy. So being a dad, and then my incredible wife, Ash, she does an amazing job with our kids too. So
and with you.
Knowing that they're safe, supported, and being a dad, the last 4 years, the 2 kids, has just been a happiness like I've never known before.
That's fantastic.
I guess outside of that space, making me happy. I still love to get active, play sport, and connect with others.
Yeah.
Socialise, whether it is, channels through sport or golf or just catching up with people, sharing meals, those sort of things with friends and family. That'd be my big things that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, nice. Good support system there too. I was going to ask you too, like probably a bit of a tough question. Like I said, we haven't scheduled any of these questions for you before you came here, but what do you think is the secret to connection? Whether it be, wife and kids, or whether it be your mates, or whether it be kids at school. Like I said, I know that when I first got to Southern Cross, you could actually see that you were actually really well connected to the kids straight away. Like that was one thing that I thought, oh, who's this guy? Like you were doing pastoral as well, and thought everyone was having a laugh, and teachers were dropping in. They'd often come and talk to you. There was no barriers there. Do you have like a secret formula, or what makes Parko so well of a connector?
I think you've just got to know things about people. I think, and not another thing I've learned along the way is not just know someone for one thing. So I've spoken to someone recently and saying, if you've got a student who's a gun basketball player, don't just ask them about basketball every time you see them. Like that can be your thing to break it open, but find out something else that they love, or find out something else. Don't just pigeonhole people based off, it might be perception or something you've seen before. I think, get to know people for who they are. And then I find that's the best time to talk to people, and you can ask them something different.
Yeah, nice.
See them next. I also think one of the biggest barriers is to be able to joke and laugh with people. And then I guess the extra thing would be, find similarities that work, but also find the differences. Find out why people are different to you and what makes them tick, or why they think a certain way about different topics. That's always seemed to work for me.
I love that. And we talk about the innate code, where there's 8 things we believe that come up with holistic health. And we found a boy, and I won't name names because of obviously confidentiality, but injured his leg, and all his eggs were in one basket with sport. And when that was taken away from him through the injury, especially to the footy season, he was down, he was low. And I think I really love what you said there. You got to find out what else, what are the things that can tick off that passion. You talked about passion and purpose before, that actually make people tick, and they can find that inner strength, or maybe something different that they didn't know they had before. What's your modern day challenges as a father?
As a father, staying patient is probably a big one. I always go back to a bit of advice my cousin gave me when my son Lenny was only a few weeks old, and I went down to Melbourne for my pa's funeral, and he had a couple of kids a little bit older than Lenny, and he just said it, and it always stuck out to me. He said, "It's okay to punch the ground." And I was like, that is the weirdest bit of advice I've ever seen. Sure enough, a few weeks later, Lenny wouldn't sleep, wouldn't settle.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated and just went, I can punch the ground if I want. And went, that's just the most bizarre bit of advice I've ever been given, but something that I tell everybody, just to know, it's okay that things are tough, because things are tough everywhere. Yeah. It's normal. Yeah. It's normal that you can feel down sometimes. You can also feel the highest of highs. Yeah. But I guess a big challenge is just, that notion of what you want the outcome to be, but it's never that simple. No. That'd be probably number one. I
was going to ask you too, just on that, like another tough question. We're finding too, it's really hard. We find our young teenage boys, particularly our young men, what it actually means to be a man these days. Like I don't know if you find that too in the schools you're at, and the people you work with, and maybe some friends who've now got kids as well, or older kids. What's the definition these days of a man? Like I know you're looking straight at me thinking, well, obviously you are, Gary, but apart from the role model you got right in front of you, what is it to be a successful man these days?
I think, that stigma is slowly changing too, of what this traditional idea of what a man is. And it's even something, as a man in my 30s, you still get challenged with things and notions of things I've seen or been taught or been, subject to over the years, especially in that team sport environment.
The alpha.
Males. And I don't know the correct answer to that. I think, a man now, and I think there's a lot of good channels that have come out and saying, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to, think certain things at certain times. It's okay to talk.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a massive stigma on, men are strong. They do things for themselves. Just go about your business and things will just move on normally.
Yeah.
But I definitely know, even in my circle, people go through a lot and have gone through a lot, and sometimes you have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. I think to that circle of trust, we talked to a guidance officer last week about, they seem bigger, stronger, wiser, kinder, and then what kids often want their parents or their father figure or even, whoever the significant other is in their life is to have those 4 traits. And I think, you talk about patience, you talk about punching the ground, all these kind of strategies, but I think it's okay sometimes, like you said, to, I think social media is a big thing to offer where, they show all these great pictures of people in their happy life for 95% of the time, but, deep down, people are struggling. So I think that's a big separation to how people really feel to what they show from the outside too.
Big time.
Mate, I want to change up a little bit now. Thanks for all that lovely serious talk. Now I'm going to get to some even more serious talk here. I'm going to ask you a few questions here, and you're going to actually answer this within the first 5 seconds, the first thing that comes to your mind. Remembering this is a PG-rated podcast from GW Unspoken. So you ready for this? Don't look at the questions, mate. You can't look at that. That's cheating. I told you that before. Favourite food?
Chicken wings.
Yes, gee, Woodford style. Favourite drink?
Ooh. I'd say this is a tough one. There's a lot of drinks that I like. There is quite a lot of drinks that I like.
Red cordials up there.
That's right. I'd say number 1 at the moment. I'd go a small flat white extra shot. Yeah. That'd be probably my drink of choice. The one I have the most, I think, out of all the drinks.
It wasn't something I thought you'd answer with, but anyway, okay. Yeah. Favourite pet?
A dog. I would absolutely love to have a dog or puppy of my own.
Ash is listening to this too.
My lovely wife's dismay will not accept that invitation and has refused and said, we've got 2 animals at home as it is with 2 kids, so
and a beast.
Might get another one. Is that PG?
Favourite song at the moment?
At the moment? Wow. Well, you've obviously heard my karaoke's Will Smith Getting Jiggy With It, which always gets a good run. Always playing probably Red Hot Chili Peppers get a big run. Under the Bridge would be my number 1. At the moment, there's a couple of songs that kids will be playing, before we go to bed or something, a bit of a dance off. There's a couple, Paw Patrol movie, movie that just get stuck in your head and you're singing the next day at school and people go, what's that song? I said, it's a new one, Paw Patrol movie. So that'd be, I
love it.
That's terrible, isn't it?
No. Well, going on with that, you might be able to answer this too. What favourite movie at the moment? Is there a go-to? Like, is there something where if you're flicking through channels, suddenly it comes on again, you go, oh, no, I've seen this 10 times, but I have to watch it again. Is there one of those movies you got from the past?
My biggest one of all time is Cool Runnings.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That is my absolute favourite. I will stop and watch
that.
What
part of that is the best? Like, is there a stand-up moment you like in that one?
I don't mind when having a bit of a chat in the mirror together, a bit of I see pride, I see power. I like that little pump up. I'll always, stop and play that. I've even so much so I've tried to work that into nearly every curriculum I've ever taught. So
I love it.
Religious aspects, I could work in some stuff here with Cool Runnings, and that's my absolute go-to.
No, I haven't said for ages. That's good. Favourite hobby or interest?
Outside of your family time at the moment, probably be finding some time to exercise.
Okay.
Probably going for runs at the moment would be my number 1. But I guess I just love going to kick a ball around or that usually means you're with someone else or in good company. So I'll just say anything to do with a footy or ball of any kind to throw around.
Yeah,
is something I love to do.
What's your favourite trait in a human?
Humour.
What's your worst favourite trait in a human?
Is worst favourite the correct?
No, worst favourite. Well, let's go least favourite.
People that correct you.
I'm an English teacher at the moment. So.
Least favourite trait in somebody. dishonesty
Okay.
would be right up there.
Best dad joke you've ever heard? Well, do you have one? Do you have a go-to? Like, I know you're a bit of a practical joker. Like, that's probably your way, but
In there, I don't have a Woodford book of jokes
You
like
don't?
yourself. The top of my head, my number one is always and has always been knock knock.
Who's there?
I did it.
I did poo. That's bad. I don't even want to laugh. Someone told me the other day, like you might have heard this one, it goes, two muffins were in an oven and one muffin looked at the other muffin and goes, geez, it's hot in here. And the other one goes, holy hell, it's a talking muffin.
You're the guru. Guru of jokes.
You know what we did the other
Guru
day?
of well-being.
The other day at school at lunchtime, we went and did a podcast, a little quiet one in this little green room we had up there. And the young man, he's a legend, and I was doing this. It was a joke off. You know, you can see sometimes like you did the joke off. Oh my gosh! And you got a point every time you made the other person laugh. It was just ridiculous. We both had dad joke cards, and we're reading off them. Funny as they weren't good
How'd you
jokes.
go?
I got him only because he laughed at my laugh. So when I was ahead by 2, I just laughed and he made him laugh. So I was a winner. Here's one that's got to be PG. This will be interesting either from staff members or students, and you can de-identify names obviously for this, but have you had a funniest moment in your teaching profession you've seen or witnessed that you remember off the cuff? Like there's something you remember.
Oh, I've always come back to, so one that doesn't involve me, so looking at someone else, is seeing people that might not be in that health, physical education field, but have to deliver, or a simple way is sex ed to younger students.
Yeah.
So I definitely know one of our old co-workers there trying to deliver that content when I'm having a look in the back of the room, and I didn't know who was more awkward, is the teacher or the students. No one knew where to look. There was diagrams going up. There were kids. No one was in the headspace. And I was sitting at the back of this room just having an absolute ball, just laughing.
Oh,
that's one of the best.
That is gold. That is gold. I remember when I was at a school on the north side, like probably up where towards you live, and we had the head of department's phone was in a separate room, but like in the same building, but you'd still put your head out and you could still see the rest of the staff. And I remember ringing that number, it was just sort of across from us. I was ringing up and my mate would answer, go, hello, it's Mr. Such and Such, pretending I was a parent. And this guy's just, like one of my mates is backpedaling, but then he's starting to get angry and I start laughing. He looked around, oh, what are you, prick, whatever, and just hang up. I do some more work and 5 minutes later the phone rings and I answer, go, hello. He goes, hello, this is such and such from the badminton arena trying to fix up your strings. Do you have any records for us to restring? And I just went, good luck, mate. And I started swearing him on the phone. You're a D-head. And I hung up, looked out. No one was on the phone. It was actually the guy. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I was just freaking out. It wasn't good. All right, word association. First word that pops into your head after these words. School.
Positive.
Took a while to answer that. Like, I don't know if that's part of the program. Holidays.
The best.
Family.
Important.
Mates.
Legends.
Coming second in anything.
Second place ribbons.
Sport.
Vital.
Chocolate or lollies?
Chocolate.
Do you have a favourite?
White chocolate is my number
Milky
one.
Bar?
Yeah, Milky Bar. Pretty partial to cookies and cream Milky Bar too. Those caramel actually. That's caramel would be the go. Yeah, that does not last long when it's purchased.
Do you share?
Not well, but I do.
My wife starts buying like that old Jamaica or old gold. I won't eat that stuff, and she knows that. Kids movies.
Important messages.
Having more children, like when the twins come along.
That is been the number one joke that people go to.
Really?
And it's so common in Ash's family is like, just keep saying, number 3, it's just going to be 3 and 4. So much so that it's inbuilt in our heads now that we're going to have twins next. Yeah.
We have more kids?
Potentially.
Nice. All right, ready, 2 more questions to go. You're doing pretty well, actually, for this. It's really good. You're stuck on an island forever.
Mm-hmm.
You need 3 people with you for the rest of your life. And you can't say someone like, like someone's going to save a day. You can't have Superman there or anything like that. But who would you like to be stuck with? Oh, and take your family out of this at the moment.
Yep.
3 people you'd like to be stuck on the island with, go.
Look, as I said, I have tuned into this before, so I came in with a little head start.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you think I was going to ask the same question?
Yeah, I thought you're a simple man. So,
We're going to edit this bit. Credibility is gone.
Yeah. I would take one of our old colleagues, a man, let's call him Jason Gatorade, as I like to call him.
Yes.
Because that man would save your life on a deserted island for sure.
He is a legend.
Has his own survival pack, or the go bag, as he likes to call it, just in case anything happens from natural disaster to zombie apocalypse. He has it all there ready to go. And aside from survival skills and, he's camping guru, fishing guru, he's just an absolute entertainer. Would keep you entertained the whole time.
Would you trust him on that island, though? Would you trust this guy?
Yeah, I'd trust him.
Would you?
And look, no TV on the island. He knows every movie back to front, every quote that's ever been said. So you just, set him up for the night and say, tell me all about Rocky 1. And
he just
go, press play.
Scene 1.
So I'd definitely be taking
Jason
Gatorade.
Okay, yep.
The other 2, I'd probably take my cousin, Kane. We're sort of 5 years apart, but really good mates, really similar as well. So someone similar to myself on that island would be good.
Yep.
He loves sport and stuff too. So passing a ball, kicking a ball, I find a bit of fun.
You're an island, mate. You only throw coconut. That's all you got
Coconuts, that's all right.
Okay.
We can manufacture something with
Jason.
He'd MacGyver it. I think, he'd be a good choice. We're both pretty level-headed sort of dudes as well, so I think you need a little bit of that.
Yep.
A third one, though, that's hard. That's Jennifer Aniston. No, that's not, not the right answer.
I hope your wife's not going to watch this. Jennifer Aniston, can you say that?
No, I can't say that.
Okay, no, don't say that. I like how he's come in pre-prepared. He's got nothing.
Yeah.
This is good.
I knew the first person.
You always peak too early. I knew this was going to
happen. Yeah. Last one. I'll probably just take another one of my mates.
Yeah.
Good mates. Just say, come on, you're in this together too. So let's,
bring him in. Bad luck, sucker. You're stuck here the rest of your life.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Now,
go on.
Can I ask you?
I had one more question to go. Are you going to cut that off?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, go. Here we go. This is going to be interesting.
Because I am an avid listener, I wanted to do some word association with you as well.
Here we go. Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. This is like off the cuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to say a word and you got to say the first thing that comes into your head. I'll give you, you can have a couple of words, all right?
This is called Matt Parkinson Unspoken, by the way, if anyone's asking about this question.
It's going to kickstart my podcast career here today.
Okay, go on.
Seinfeld.
Go to every day of the week.
Camping.
Love it.
Daughters.
Couldn't be without them.
Chicken wings.
I would have them at least twice a week if I was allowed to.
Rach.
The best. Lucky. I'm lucky.
Spelling Gary with 2 R's.
Well, if it was only one, I'd be Gary. So when you spell marry, it's not M-A-R-Y, is it? So I'm just going by that.
Tattoos.
Tattoos. Right on the right people.
That's great. Lucky we're in audio. Well-being.
Wish I knew more about it when I was younger.
Coitus.
What does that word even mean?
Don't worry.
Pass.
Innate code.
Oh, I wish we'd done this earlier. Innate code is just like, I want everyone to know about innate code because all the reading I've done, I wish I've done again. We've learned this younger because it's just the way it's the way to go forward now.
Beautiful. And last one.
Oh, yep.
Favorite co-workers that you no longer currently work with.
that starts with them.
Have done this podcast with you, whose nickname rhymes with Marco.
Polo. Oh, no, I said Marco. Okay. I don't know if I've had any of those actually. That is good. I actually do miss you, mate. You know, the first weird thing was, and I thought about when I first met you was, I think we just come back after COVID because we started in 2020 together, and it was in around April time, and I was introduced to Teams. And I remember your door was just up the road from me, up the corridor from me, and I just remember going, I kept asking all these questions. You're so patient, and I'm like, this guy is going to think I've got which I didn't have no idea of technology. And I remember one time going, mate, I know you've shown this before, but I can't get this Teams message to send. I've got to send this Teams message. And you're so good. You gave your time, walked in, and you just have to push this little blue arrow, and that actually sends it. And I'm like, oh my God. And you didn't say anything. You just walked back to the office. And I remember about 2 minutes later following him going, mate, I am a D-head. I'm so sorry. And you started cracking up laughing. So I was like, oh, it annoyed me. But yeah, mate, I miss those times. Actually, I miss those times where you're with the kids too, and we have a bit of banter between each other too, and that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun there.
Of course.
Can I have my last question now?
Yeah,
or have you got some more hidden stuff that you got? Put me on the spot. Guru. All right. What's the last question going to be? You've listened to the show a few times. Hey?
Yeah, well, this is usually when I am falling asleep, this time period. But
yeah, it is very soothing, this voice. Yep.
Yeah, it is. I can't even remember what the last.
You got $20 left. You got 20 bucks. I'm going to give you 20 because you'll blow the first 10 on something.
I haven't thought about this.
Extra shot of coffee or
I
something.
thought about this question.
Your last $20 left. What are you buying?
All right. I know I'm going to get $10 worth of hot chips.
Bay Bates.
Yeah. I'm going to eat them somewhere, by the beach, by the water, on sunset, naturally.
You're romantic, aren't you?
That's right. And that brings about that connection as well, Even if I'm going to be by myself, people walk past me with hot chips and go, I'll have some hot chips there. And now that I've got an extra $10, I'm going to get at least one icy cold beer.
Yep, nice.
To sit down, and I reckon I've got a couple of bucks to play with. So, I'll give the person a little tip behind the counter.
This will feel good to say.
Use this well.
Oh, nice. Aren't you a legend? Mate, I want to thank you for coming on the show. You're a legend. You actually put me on the spot there, which made me a little bit nervous. So, but all good. Appreciate your honesty.
Thank you.
Good family man. Great mate. I hope that you can come back on the show again to chat more about this. But again, just one word of advice from me come to you. I'm a bit of an older mentor for you. I know you ring me all the time. Can you just not ring me all the time about some ways to get along with your kids and your family? Just you'll stop harassing me all the time, because it does come to a point where enough is enough. But apart from that, that's good, mate.
Mate, thank you for having me.
Thanks.
I appreciate the time. I've had a ball. I think you're doing a great job.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.